This is so dark.
Not really sure. Okay, I would like to call to order the Village of Lansing Planning Board meeting for Tuesday, July 29th, to order at 7:01 PM. Audio online is fine, but for some odd reason, the video feed is kind of dark. If you can see, it's like that on my laptop too, so.
Oh, my goodness.
Not sure why.
Is it dark?
But no, we tried. No, it's something different.
Okay.
But first item on the agenda is approval of minutes. We have two sets of minutes. June 24th. Does anybody have any updates to that haven't already been circulated? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the June 24th meetings.
I move that we accept June 24th.
Motion by Lisa.
Second.
Second by Lorraine, all in favor.
Aye.
I even didn't mess that up because I looked over there, I was like, that's where you, oh, nope, that's you.
I know, see, everybody's gonna be confused.
No, this is gonna be great. Keep
This keeps us on our toes, exactly.
Second set of minutes for July 14th. Any additional comments from what was distributed?
I think I was the only one that responded to you unless Lisa,
Yeah.
did she?
Well,
send-
there was one little typo, I hope it got it, I thought, I'm not sending this for, you've been consistently saying reality instead of realty?
I fixed it.
Which I get a kick out of, but
I fixed it on the version I sent you because
You might miss
the
it.
name of the office is the Cornell University Real Estate, 2 words. Yeah, so I
okay.
changed them all on mine.
but the first time I saw it, I just thought, it's kind of funny, I love reality.
And highlights is 1 word, and I fixed that for you too.
I did that too. There you go.
All right,
I'll entertain a motion to approve the July 14th minutes.
So moved?
Motion by Yamila.
Second.
Second by Lisa, all in favor.
Aye.
The printer is even voting. Okay, next item on, what's up, Lisa did. Next item on the agenda is the public comment period. This is an opportunity for anyone in the public to bring up any topic they want to that's not already on the agenda for this evening.
Gillespie for the Board of Trustees.
Hey, Pat.
Hey,
Okay, hearing no other comments, I'll entertain a motion to close the public comment period.
I will move to close the public comment period.
Motion by Jim,
I will second.
second by Yamila. See, I did it. In favor?
Aye.
It's gonna be fun to.
I think we should shuffle around more often.
We'll just change sheets every night, yeah. Okay, next item on the agenda is the discussion of village code changes and corrections.
Submit my stuff.
So this is an ongoing topic that we've discussed for the past few meetings, and I know that we had a couple updates from Lorraine and myself.
I did not submit
Next one.
anything to,
Nope, that's fine.
I have some,
I know that Yamila and Jim met. Do you want to just kind of give an update on just high-level
Yeah, let me,
things you discussed?
okay, so I made myself a spreadsheet, because obviously I always would make myself a spreadsheet. For the most part, we didn't see a lot of things that needed a lot of discussion. But there's a couple of things that were interesting. So impact technology has a lot of definitions in it.
which one?
Low impact technology.
Impact technology.
Yeah, so it's described as small-scale manufacturing technology having few, if any, nuisance characteristics. But that begs the question, what is nuisance?
Well, there's, yeah,
Because there's nuisance and there's nuisance, so we don't really discuss what that is.
the definition.
There's that piece. Then it says the scale of operation utilizes primarily services such as UPS, Postal Service, and Federal Express with little or no tractor-trailer traffic and no loading docks. Examples are data processing, computer centers, laser technology applications, communications equipment, service and repair, medical laboratories, research, testing, design, and training applications, custom small industry such as production, assembly, packaging. So that's a lot of things that are in that category, including things like medical laboratories, which has its own use definition. So we were talking about this, like, do we separate those out because we have a medical laboratory section?
I was curious, also, one thing, before I forget it, I want to bring this up, because one of the things you mentioned there is something that Lorraine and I found in one of our definitions, well, found in one of our things that was missing a definition, which was commercial soft assembly goods. And one of the things there, this is from Mike, that he wasn't aware of any in the village, anything zoned that way, but in general, it'd be like an assembly line
Soft goods.
Yeah, so I wonder if there's some overlap there between commercial assembly of soft goods and also low-impact technology, because of that assembly line kind of.
Yeah, that last piece, yeah.
And also the medical laboratory, we've already got a few different medical things that I know we're grappling with that we might want to try to consolidate into.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Okay, so whether we
Medical
fold
lab didn't
medical
have a
into this, or we separate medical out from it and have it its own, I don't know.
Well, and maybe that chunk of it falls in one of the like other uses like medical laboratory or clinic or hospital, or there's a bunch of other ones in there.
Yeah,
Because I think that's the thing, we're like, yeah, how do we want to handle that? We have to,
Yeah.
so you basically.
But that's good.
Look at the definition.
Well, medical
we just-
laboratory did not have a definition.
that's
Okay.
the other part.
So that was one, those are some things that Lorraine and I noticed that we passed on to Mike, like, hey, we didn't find a definition of these, and then he either found it or provided one
Right,
from somewhere else in the code.
yeah. Yeah, I did a quick search of the code and couldn't find any medical laboratory definition. So,
Do you have a feeling for where that is? Maybe it's not in 14560, maybe it's up in the terms, which is what, 145.3?
We looked through-
I looked at both, and we had no definition.
yeah, I looked it up, we had, Jody printed out for us, which was very kind of her, 145.3 and 145.82.
Okay.
So we could have both look, and neither of them had it, and then I did a search on the PDF, and it didn't come up either.
Yeah, shoot those to Mike, because those are the sort of things that we
Yeah.
sent along that he
Yeah, I have to send mine
tracked
too.
down, yeah.
And the other thing that came out is we had a very long and really interesting discussion when we were talking about this low-impact technology, about, because it's allowed in low-traffic and medium-traffic commercial, right? So over there, if you look, the medium pink and the light pink on the map. And we were talking about how, the village has these goals for more walkability and all that kind of stuff, and how low-impact technology tends to not be like a public-facing thing. Like, it's a business, and people who work there go there, people who have a very special need to go there, but it's not part of the public realm. And so, how does that fit with our walkability goals as a village if we're allowing things that don't have a public face? So like, one of the things we talk about in general is like, do we want to have some sort of active use, like requirement or something like that for the things that are the most public-facing things? And how that, impacts walkability and stuff. So we spent a lot of time on low-impact technology, because it generated,
More to take longer than others.
it generated a lot of really interesting discussion.
Do you, Mike, have an example, because I have a thought, but it also goes back to the question we asked you about low-impact technology? Like, JMAX, are they still in there?
GMAX,
They are.
yeah, they still do it. There's also,
But would you consider that low-impact technology, or more like assembly line?
I'll have to see what it was categorized as.
Okay.
What do they do?
They build, it's not point of sale stuff, yeah, no, maybe it is. Yeah, they do like,
Send me those questions, that way I can go through my whole fire inspection list.
Technology? Is that the question?
Like, what is the current use that would qualify?
yeah, what would fit in there? But yeah, they do things like payment systems for
Oh, I see, like,
various things, so not necessarily a
thinking
point of
like-
sale system like a cashier or like a register, but it looks like more like things that would be, I don't know if you'd find it like a laundromat or a kind of payment systems like that.
You got Dairy One and Dairy Two
Yes,
up there. You've also got a tech building that's next to the post office up there. I can't remember the name of it right away, but I can find that information. Like I said, I'd really rather have you just send me it, because then I can research things for you and give you some.
Okay.
Is that the building that used to be is that building you're talking about, used to be the Ag Waste building? On the other side of the,
I don't know if it's building or not.
So what I do is I have this spreadsheet, and I'll highlight the things that are the questions for you, and I'll send you the whole spreadsheet, because that way you can see what the context is. And that was another thing that kind of, that I had a question about, Low-impact technology includes custom small industry production, assembly, and packaging, and light industry manufacturing also has very similar uses. So there seems to be, I don't know if there's overlap is, or, is there a Venn diagram that includes those both, and should we separate them for uses for this? So there's a few things that kind of, I don't know, seem to overlap a bit.
Yeah, it sounds like some of the things that Lorraine and I looked at, there's overlap there too.
Yeah.
See,
Is that bad, though? Is that bad if it overlaps? I guess that's.
I don't want to say it's bad, but I think that it makes.
Confusing.
So let's look across the road here. I think that Mike had to pick one of 3 or 4 things that fell into to classify, because it was really, it could have, fallen, what does it meet the most?
Yeah.
Because there was some ambiguity there. If we can remove that and it makes sense for these things to fall into different categories, I bet a lot of these were created a long time ago.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's do it. If it makes perfectly good sense that they are the way they are, okay, great, at least we reviewed them, we did our due diligence, great.
because some places already have a use that's been assigned to them when they either first got here or from previous code.
Yeah.
I can't go in and just change it.
No, well, they're grandfathered per se, yeah.
File, find out. what
Yeah,
it is.
and I do think there's a difference between light industry and low impact when looking at them, based on the scale that's done there. I think there's some distinctions.
But it's worth taking that look to make sure.
Yeah,
Right, the high-level terms sound the same, but if we actually dig into it, okay.
Yeah, so whatever we could bring to clarity, so we know where that line is, would be helpful. And let's see, anything else? We had I think one of the things that we kept finding is there are a few things that had very wide definitions. Because, and I guess that's why special permits exist, because, for instance, in the indoor recreation club, we were talking like, it could be like, an Elks Lodge, or it could be like a Dave and Buster's, and they're really different, like the arcade versus this, so how it's a big definition, so that's where special permit comes in, where we can have some discretion, but some of these are really big definitions to the point where the things at either end really feel like they're not part of the same thing. So, that's kind of a quick kind of high-level summary of some of the things that we found. A few of them were really very straightforward. We found some kind of interesting things like the definition for multi-unit residential building was odd. So it shows up in 3 different places. So in 14582, it says includes accessory facilities and residential activities, including gardening and keeping of pets.
Yeah.
And a dwelling unit housing with more than 3 dogs, it was a kennel, like it describes those kinds of things, but it doesn't actually describe what a multi-unit housing is. I found it's under building, residential, subset multi-unit. So it's interesting that for some of these things, they rise to the level of being their own definition, but for that one, it's a sub of a sub.
yeah.
I think, ultimately, at a high level, anything that's in this chart here should have something, it should have a definition. And it should match up, right? It shouldn't be right if it's, and I know we talked about the order, if we want to sort them so that right, whatever, if you want to rename the use residential, low, medium, high, or,
Yes.
Yeah,
whatever.
but having them match up would be nice.
Matching them up would be great. And if that means that we need to move some things,
Well, the chart has to change.
to here instead, or, I think that's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jim found that when we were diving down that little thing, like, why are we defining kennels in the definition of multi-use? I mean, a multi-unit building, but then the kennel definition somewhere else had a different number of animals. So,
Well, I wonder if things like that are better suited to end up in terms versus, I don't know.
I mean, you could actually take what's in under terms, where they have multi-residential building, and just copy that.
Yeah.
Here, and this one would be just fine.
It'd be fine, yeah.
Just fine, get rid of these.
But it just,
4 squirrels and whatever else.
but it goes to show, this is a really good exercise that we're doing, because we're finding these little things that, I mean, they're not, I mean, is it 4 dogs or 3 dogs to make a kennel? It doesn't really matter too much, but at some point it might matter, and it's really nice to be consistent.
I used to have a kennel right down the street when we first moved here. Of course, luckily, they were pretty, I don't know, they only howled around the afternoon when they were feeding time or something, but it was the certain number of dogs. I remember that whole thing, because it was grandfathered, and once they closed the kennel, it was over. So, but it was a certain number of dogs.
Yeah, well, one definition for a kennel is 4 or more dogs, but the subcategory under the multiple dwelling unit, it's 3 or more dogs, it's
Oh, but some people have that many,
small.
Right.
Yeah, well,
They don't even have a kennel.
and they don't have a kennel, right? They just have that many dogs. I mean, a lot of people
It
have
doesn't have any
2.
definition as to like for boarding, for
Right.
pay, it's just number of dogs, so those people would have a kennel.
Yeah.
But they don't have a kennel.
of course,
But is
Isn't a kennel, doesn't a,
is a
We
kennel
are in both
commercial
sides.
use?
Like the commercial definition of kennel,
yeah,
but kennel,
a
so
kennel,
one has for purpose of breeding or boarding for
I
personal.
was gonna
use.
say, that's,
Other definition does not.
well, there's the thing.
So that would be where Mike comes in and says, which of these things does
Then the,
it most closely, yeah. I have 3 dogs, I'm not a kennel.
But then that would
I want to be
be,
able
but
to
we
board
might
or-
not want a kennel
Yep.
in the same location where there's 4 more dogs than we would, so then now we're getting into where it should fall.
Yep.
Really,
Yep,
I really wouldn't want one next door.
again, that was next door, it was down the road, but still.
And you have to listen to them bark all the time.
Well, no, some of them.
My neighbor's dogs bark all the time. They've got beagles and huskies, it's,
One neighbor who has the most, I've never heard a dog shrill, it's a little, this big.
Oh, your dog across the street, that dog barks when Lisa has company, so she
I
knows.
always know when somebody's coming, I mean, yeah,
oh, the dogs at the park house, oh my gosh, those are the
I
loudest.
mean, they're nasty.
Yeah.
They're scary. If that fence ever has a hole in it.
Oh, that's kind of what we got through. We had a really interesting, long discussion.
It is interesting, actually.
Oh, no, it really is a great exercise.
It really-
How far did you, get on stuff?
We got 2 multi-unit residential building.
Good.
Oh, yeah,
And then, this is the thing, we didn't even talk about this, but it came up to me, it's listed as only in sewered areas, right?
Oh,
So, does that mean with new sewered areas, we are thinking about different things?
Yes.
Allowed?
Uh,
That's, we define it,
Lots of things change, the whole subdivision ability and all those things change.
so like, do we change the frontage? Do we allow multi-units? Do we, like, that kind of thing? And that's a big decision for the future of the village for certain neighborhoods.
yeah.
But it also means that we would increase our tax base rather dramatically.
How does that work, Mike, with, define sewer area, like, so for example, I'll look at, not Milcroft, but is it off Bush, whatever it is up here, the one that the property viewers were interested in. There's no sewer there now,
There's no sewer, if they have no access,
they had, I mean, there's no sewer on any of that property, however, it is on
like Murder Kill.
all the sides of, yeah, but I mean, like, Janivar is sewered, and is Bush Lane, is that sewered?
No,
Okay, so how would that be knowing that of the piece of property that was bought, there is no sewer there? But what if he gets approval to connect to the sewer? And I forget when we even talked about that project.
Oh, he did, he was gonna go.
Right, so
But I don't know if that happened.
That work, when it says only in sewer areas, you don't have to answer that now. You can think about it for a little bit.
well, I mean, if there's sewer there for them to connect to, then it's a sewer.
But can they connect to the sewer on Janivar? Do we know? I mean,
Yes,
that's,
that was what was gonna happen, they was gonna come in from there, I thought.
If you want to pay for the line and get, if you need to. cross
right,
private
so
property.
I guess that would be something that you would have to take into account
Yeah.
when you figure out what use something falls
There's
into.
not that many left anymore, I mean, between Oak Crest, Murder Kill, and a couple small areas over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, so, just curious. Versus it already being sewered versus having sewer available, if you can connect.
If sewer's available, it's a sewered area.
Okay. As long as they can connect.
connect to it, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Lorraine and I can give an update.
wait.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
can, well, I can give an update, it's just we didn't get through it, and I didn't submit anything to Mike.
Okay.
I only halfway through.
Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
No, I'm just wondering, did you want us to, or Yamila's did all the note-taking, to talk about where we thought about maybe changes in uses, or is that?
Let's say
is
that,
for
let's
another?
say that for, I think starting at the next meeting, we can start and we can pick whoever wants to.
I just figured before we moved to the next group of people.
Yeah, oh, yeah, no, absolutely, yeah, I think, because you all have to meet again to get through the rest of the ones you did, so why don't you do that? Get through, your proposed changes and stuff, send questions you have to Mike, and then starting at the next meeting, we can.
Yeah, and I can share this spreadsheet. I took what you did,
The form.
that form, and I kind of made it more of a spreadsheet where there's columns for each thing, and that was an easier way for my head to wrap around everything.
Yeah, and we just kind of answered them kind of in line, copied and pasted for each, yeah, same data. Okay, and Lisa?
I would,
Go ahead.
I would love to see your spreadsheet, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm next? Okay, so we got through about half. We got through from pharmacy down through special care facility. And we started off with pharmacy, which has no definition. And of course, we talked about the fact that there are pharmacies all over the place, but they're always associated with another building
All right.
or in some way. The lot, except for Kinney maybe, it's sort of at the end, it's not with a big building, it's part of a mall building, but there's no standalone pharmacies. And I did look up some definitions, and they could be one. I think it's a matter of whether, I don't know why it couldn't be a standalone one, but whatever. And then we talked about the fact that it's drive-through, so now CMT maybe, doesn't allow drive-through, so maybe that, blah, blah, blah. So, but we need a definition for pharmacy, and there's some in there that, mostly I would think we would want one that has a registered pharmacist on staff, and there's, all that. Then we got to, the second one didn't have a definition
Right, that
either.
definition, yeah.
That's redevelopment on larger pre-existing non-conforming use currently in operation in CLT zoning. Don't know what that means exactly.
Mike can answer it for you.
Yes.
Not right now, but.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Then sales, repair, and maintenance, let's see. Yeah, what's driving this category? Is there a need to even keep this line item? In some cases, you wondered whether, we must, I guess. We needed more information. We got to, third one was what, religious facility?
Yep.
Obviously, that's allowed everywhere. I think the thing, keep it as is, we said, pretty much, because the thing that we'd have to worry about is just consider traffic and character when you're going through, when they come, because you want to, and parking, all that kind of stuff. So then, research, design, prototype, production. We need a definition before we can decide if it's appropriate, really. I forget what the, let's see. Research, design, prototype, C145, 45, research district, nothing, it didn't. If you go to that definition, research design, which is in 14582, right? It just says C14545.
Right. We stumbled across a couple of those too, we're
So I
like,
thought we really need to do something about that. Is it only for, CLO? We weren't sure, what it was, but in certain areas, we thought production wouldn't be appropriate. Sales, repair, and maintenance. What I wrote was crazy definition, need new definition. There were just like laundromat, cleaner bank, drive-in restaurant, carry-out service, bar, tavern,
Everything.
it's a lot of stuff, yeah, okay.
throw in all this stuff. Determine,
Oh, yeah, okay.
so, we were sort of saying, well, would this allow,
So that was sales, repair, and maintenance?
would this allow small engine sales and service, for example? We couldn't really say whether it should make any changes to where it should be allowed until we know what our definition is going to be. because maybe we would allow some of this, and it's fine, but if not, we might want to change some of the places it could go.
Well, and I think this is a great, once we all do start coming back around and really digging.
We're gonna have to go-
into it a little bit more, I think it's great for us to all share the areas that we focused on, like we did, I mean, last, when we talked about a bank versus bank administration. I think bank actually falls under sales, I forget, yeah, so there you go.
And the ATM, the whole ATM thing,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
well, that was the one thing,
the crap road, yeah.
but yeah.
So schools is not allowed in the research place or the HHS, and I said, gee, you might want to have a medical school or some sort of certification program. We weren't sure that it shouldn't be there.
Well, isn't the DeWitt school, DeWitt in the HSS, because across
No.
the street? Well, you've got.
No,
But it's
Is it-
across the
Is it too
street.
far down?
DeWitt's not in the village,
It's not ours.
Oh, it's not?
DeWitt's in the town of it.
Yeah.
Oh,
or
is it,
yeah,
oh,
it is.
so just
Yes,
past
it
Uptown
is.
Road,
Yes,
then?
it's
It's
a-
not, is it just past Uptown
No, it's
Road?
the town.
It's the town?
Yeah.
But
Right
even,
after you go past Brentwood?
But pretend it was up another, like, section, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that far from there, I mean.
and not only that, but like research, somebody might have a technical school they would want to put in there. To me, that would make sense, if that's,
Oh,
I don't know.
Business and Tech Park.
So we said maybe we'd want to change, and we also thought maybe we'd want to change the commercial high traffic and BTD, well, of course, BTD I'm not getting into, but to SP plus instead of, then we said, well, yeah, what if, you wouldn't want a school next to a gas station, for example. So I mean, there'd be some things, but I mean, we can overthink a lot of this stuff, but I think that's our
But
job.
I mean, at a high level, yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, so you made it halfway, or a couple, however many through, whatever. Do you want to meet with me to tackle all the other ones, so you're not doing it by yourself?
Well, I mean, he's with somebody.
Yeah, well, that's my point,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It's either me or you.
Yeah, I'm fine either way.
okay.
I would be offended if you said, God, I'd rather work with Larry than.
No, that's fine.
Okay,
That's fine.
Yeah.
I would like to.
well, yeah, I'll find some time for the two of us to meet.
And then, small-scale sales, we said it's currently allowed in CMT, CHT. We said we thought maybe we would add CLT with conditions,
Yeah.
like a strip mall concept or something. And then I think the last one we got to was special care facility, my favorite, oh my goodness.
There, yeah.
Should we add, that was where we said no real change, but we should add some sort of language, change the definition to include rehabilitation services / treatment.
Well, and so this is where Lorraine and I said, maybe we want a separate use for rehabilitation.
Well, maybe we do,
Yeah, I think
but
But you could try to fit it in somewhere else. If it fits in somewhere else, again,
To
great.
me,
But
when
if it's
we-
its own thing, it
when-
can be its own.
I think we talked about naming it addiction services, didn't we? That's what I had written.
actually, in our discussion,
we also-
Jonathan and I sort of said,
Or
he
rehabilitation.
said, maybe
Or,
addiction
yeah,
isn't the
or
word you want to put in there.
Yeah.
And I said, what about rehabilitation? Because that's,
Yeah.
and.
I'm sure there's like
In
a
fact, I
term
think
for it.
For our village, it is appropriate to be rehabilitation versus, because we didn't really want, which is wrong, we wanted to help people who have addictions, but we want to help rehabilitate them as opposed to provide them drugs to get through it or whatever.
Well, I think that, again, people can wordsmith it whenever they want, but that
Exactly.
concept of it, I think A is important and B drives where we might go.
And that's as far as we got.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get a hold of you, we'll schedule a time
Okay.
to.
Okay,
tackle
great.
some more. So Lorraine and I did pass along the kind of list of questions that we had come up with as we reviewed stuff to Mike, and he got back to almost all of them. I think you missed one, and I did too, but that's besides the point. So, I think we brought up most of these as high-level things at the last meeting, but one of them was, like additional residential building on a single lot. And we said that I didn't think there. Oh, yeah, so additional residential on a single lot, but then, so it was in low-density residential, okay, medium, okay, high-density residential, okay, but then it was also in CLT. And so we're talking about additional residential lots being in a traffic district, so We had asked Mike about that, and
Yeah, you're still allowed a single, well, that's the one I told you, it used to be multi.
it used to be multi, and then, so it was allowed, but so we think that was just most likely more of a, when code changed.
Say that again?
Single and two-family are still allowed
In where?
in commercial low traffic.
Oh, single,
Why you have an additional, that's why you can justify saying that an additional residential residence can be located.
so this is where I would say, honestly, let's get all the residential in one spot,
Yeah.
so that you can actually look at this, because now I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, we got multi-unit
I
residential.
like the indent, I like, I
Like the Army does it.
residential, comma,
Yes,
take your pick.
I was gonna
Okay,
say,
have
it's
fun.
like the government does it, it's like, mattress, comma,
Yeah.
olive drab, comma, pneumatic,
I hadn't thought
comma.
about that as you were doing it, but like when Lorraine and I were talking, but I think that's great, just to have things logically grouped.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think so.
And speaking of that logical grouping, I just shared with you all, so the city of Ithaca just redid all of their zoning documents for their uses, and really, they did a fantastic job with the charts. So that they just did new charts, and they're beautiful and easy to read and very clear, so I just shared all of those with you, so it might be. I just did.
Sent it to all of us.
Sent it to all of you via email, so it might be worth taking a look, because, they have some uses that we don't have here, because they just updated and modernized their uses, and they've gotten rid of some uses that, so it might be worthwhile.
Sure.
I bet they have dispensary on there, so.
They probably,
Right, yeah,
yeah.
Well, we did, Pat, we didn't have, say, dispensary, though. We didn't allow dispensary here, did we? Oh, maybe we did.
No, we talked about needing to.
No, it was dispensary, but
you
not
can
cafes.
purchase from off-premise.
That's right,
Yeah.
but no cafes.
But we don't have a definition of it.
Yeah,
so
we
it would
don't.
fall under something here. Yeah, so, one of the other ones, alteration to building or improved site, we couldn't find the definition, Mike provided a definition. Where did you find that?
Be in the beginning.
Okay. So 1, under 3 terms?
1.03.
Okay.
Oh, because I looked at both of them. Well, I didn't
Yeah, I
for
didn't,
yours.
but it just probably wasn't listed as quote-unquote alteration to building or improved site. But, so enlargement, moving from one location to another, so, which made sense. Commercial assembly soft goods, that was the one that we said, hey, can you provide an example of this? And Mike said, can't think of one in the village, but it would generally be an assembly line for automotives, not clothes, plastics, et cetera.
So noise, smell,
It would be similar to an automotive assembly line, but you're doing soft goods like paper or.
I would say, what's,
That.
Fiber.
How I would.
Fiber, I guess, yeah.
Now, whether.
What are soft goods?
We have one in the village, I go back to, okay, how were places categorized by, let's say, other code officers when they first came to this. I have to go back and kind of take a look at that.
So I have a question, thinking back, before the Alcoholism Council took that building over, wasn't that a plastics factory?
mold?
No, they did software.
That was.
It wasn't necessarily
Autodesk.
Yeah, they did software. It was,
something, but it wasn't what it sounded
Oh,
like.
okay,
yeah, it was called Autodesk, but it wasn't, it was software.
it wasn't Autodesk.
Yes, it
That was
was. For a while it
No,
was.
I'm talking about the Alcoholism Council building.
What's over there?
No, the ADC, the one that became ADC, the one that, down the street here? Or are you talking
I'm
about?
talking down on Trip Hammer next to Llama.
Yeah.
Why are you
Oh,
pointing?
next,
It was,
Sorry,
it
you're
was
pointing that way,
Moldflow
yeah.
first.
I'm on it now. I'm like, why is it pointing out that way?
Before alcohol.
yeah, it was,
Why did I think it was?
because before there,
I
there
don't
was,
know what it was.
before it was, there was mold something.
Mold flow.
There was a mold something.
Pat's got a.
Pat knows, Pat what?
It was called Mold Flow.
That's right. See, I knew it was mold something.
And then they went out of business and they sold, or they got bought out by Autodesk.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I knew it was mold something,
And that was
but it wasn't
indeed,
what it sounded.
yeah, that was indeed, yeah, like molten plastic and materials.
Oh, it
Okay,
was.
so-
They actually did it there or just studied?
Or they were the
and did
administrative
simulations of it,
offices or
but-
whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was the admin offices. I think they're.
I don't think they allowed manufacturing.
I think production was in Massachusetts, maybe?
Okay,
Yeah.
so they did the
That would be
simulation of it
smelly
there.
and awful.
Okay.
We had questions about, yeah, so this was an interesting one, right, as we looked across here.
Which one?
It's not on here, I forget where we saw it, but the Farm and Craft Market District in LDR, and we said, hey,
Where's
Oh,
that?
yeah.
we need to talk to Mike about that one, and,
I never understood that.
I haven't,
district.
where is it on?
Where is
That's where you live.
There's a little sliver up on Route.
well, that's
If you look on the map there,
It's right on the very end.
look straight up ahead, on the map, right above the big yellow, low-density district, there's kind of a brownish section. That's the farm and craft.
right at the top, nope.
Nope,
To the left.
keep going, that.
That right there. So if you look at that,
But I don't see.
that
it.
is not a district on this chart.
Oh, okay.
Right, so Mike helped clarify that for us a little bit. There's an underlying district
Yeah,
there,
it's the
isn't there?
underlying district of your low-density
Yeah.
residential.
So it's an overlay.
Yeah, that
The
is,
low density.
it's an overlay to low density
And it was
residential.
designed to have fruit stands.
Yep.
Farming.
And they used to, but haven't lately.
Yeah, but there were some interesting things there, and we saw it as we read through things too, but one of them is, any stored animal waste or feed cannot be stored within 1,000 feet of a residence that doesn't have anything to do with the farm. So, right, if there's, if it's, a house there that, the people are living in, running a farm out of, great, but, so that was, yeah.
I might want to keep it, though, because,
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely, it's just, we didn't have, right, there's no, it's not treated, it's called out differently than the other districts.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
it's,
so it's LDR, but, yeah.
never did the overlay thing.
Oh, we asked about McDonald's, right, so McDonald's is in high traffic, McDonald's is not in high traffic food and beverage. I'm sure people know it used to be the Lava Building, so.
I don't remember them being in a lump.
I do.
I do.
I do. It was this lovely little, it was.
I remember everybody telling me.
Like it looks now, and they moved across the street, and they made this building with a red roof, and I came to complain, and the next thing I knew was on the darn
I
planning
guess I
board.
never came up.
Look at that, now the red roof is gone.
It is.
But so, right, the comment there was, yeah, I mean, that's from what, the
Well,
70s, you said, I
And the
think. so that's
drive-through
grandfathered.
is also grandfathered in for them when we changed it to see it, well, it was CMT, yep.
There was a reasoning that the village, due to some type of traffic pattern that they were, and I don't know whether they were required or not, I never actually said that, but to move across the street. It's something to do with traffic pattern. I started reading through minutes and it got kind of.
Oh my, it's, yeah, interesting. And now we can see how wonderful the traffic is.
That was kind of the end of the questions.
No, we had one more.
Oh, go ahead.
It was under home occupation, and then we talked about the mall, and what was the mall's primary.
Oh, yes.
And Mike said the mall themselves are not classified, the individual uses within are.
Right.
Okay, where did the mall, why did the mall come
So
up?
the mall's commercial high traffic.
Oh, 'cause of
Right,
hospital?
we had that question about what can you do there? And right, it's really what gets put into a space in the mall. He classifies that, it's not like,
The mall
everything in the
itself.
mall is commercial high traffic.
Right.
It's-
I see. But it has to be allowed in commercial high traffic,
Yes.
the way it stands now.
Yes.
What did you decide about hospital? It's only allowed in CHT?
Yeah, we did, well,
HHS.
I was
Did we or
wondering.
not?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
no, right now it's in CHT and HHS.
Oh, right, yes.
I know, I have the alcoholism building is in CLT.
But that's not a hospital.
But it's not classified as a hospital.
No, but.
We agree, right?
Remember, we talked about that, because I said it was a 24-hour, it was
Yep.
going to be a 24-hour facility, and it had a 40-bed unit in there, so,
But it was how Mike classified it as whatever fit into the most terms, and then they went down a variance anyway, from the BZA.
I would say that between the two of us, how many man-hours did we put into that discussion? I would say about 4 to 6.
And the BZA they were very respectful. They said, we agree that we can see how you do hospital, but we would like to declare it as a assisted living, and that's what the process.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right, well,
They
that
didn't,
makes
yeah, because they didn't, there were reasons, I mean, there had to be staffing and some of that, or whether they were administering drugs and
they were going to be administering.
not
Right.
real drugs, they were going to be only giving drugs like aspirin over the counter, or if they were
If somebody had it.
if they had like diabetes, they would be administering insulin, but they were not administering like methadone or any of that.
Actually, that is a question, I mean, and Yamil and I covered a lot of ground, talked about a lot of things, but something that, and I don't remember now the context within which this came up, but that, I'm gonna call it a senior living facility, I'm actually asking how it's classified, that's next to the Cornell Federal Credit Union,
The Cayuga Views.
Cayuga View. How is that classified? 'Cause-
How is that classified?
yeah, what's that considered to be?
Multi-unit residential,
Multi-unit.
it's not high, is it?
Okay, because
Medium density?
it's in a,
Well, it's in medium density, yeah.
it's
It would be
in,
multi-unit.
Is it medium?
No, it's
in
high density,
That's commercial,
high density.
I was gonna say, that's high density,
It would, well, it would be in the high,
High traffic, rather.
yeah.
well, what's it zoned as?
It's in the dark purple.
It's behind the Trip Hammer Mall.
So go down in the lower purple section,
On the other side.
right there.
Right there.
Yep, right about there.
It's right there at the corner, yeah, pretty much.
It's right
here.
there.
Right here, it's across from the Sheraton, but, you know, it's right in here. That's the
If you turn
hotel
on
and that's them,
cinemas,
I guess.
Well, that's CFCU, that's Cayuga View,
yeah.
there in the middle, so it is high,
The high traffic.
Why were you asking that, Jim?
Well,
Commercial high traffic, and it's it's residential multi,
That's what Mike said he would classify it as.
multi-unit.
I have all that paperwork, I can find that out.
yeah,
Right.
because there was,
Oh, so it's not in CHT, you mean?
Right.
It's in HIC.
Yeah,
But there's no apartment complex, or is there? There's no definition for an apartment complex.
It's only multi-unit residential.
Yeah, I see your point.
It could have also been classified as mixed use.
Mixed use, because there is mixed use underneath.
They
That's
did
right.
say they were gonna put
there was no,
coffee shop in the bottom.
Is there?
There's two
No,
things.
they were
There's-
gonna, this
well,
is what they
There's
said.
one thing underneath each of the two towers right now.
Is it some sort of commercial space?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think like the garden, I don't think the garden club is
There's
in
some
there.
bridge club or
There's a bridge
something.
club in one, and there's
Yes.
something in the other.
That meet in there, yeah.
So is a bridge club considered an indoor recreation facility?
It's mixed use, so that's classified
No,
as mixed use.
no, I know, but it's interesting, because we were talking about like, well, what kind of indoor recreational facilities do we have? And it didn't occur to us that we would have a bridge club.
You know, one of the things is we didn't get into it, but when we were looking down at our next categories, right? It was theater, nightclub, and discotheque, and I said, geez, you know, theater could be very different from a discotheque. I mean, my concept of what a theater is not always a movie theater, like, you know, drama and a discotheque. I didn't think those really went so well together, frankly, but
It's
we
more like
didn't get that
cinema
far.
versus theater.
Yes,
Well, one's participatory.
yeah.
If you're going to discotheque, you're there to dance. If you're going to.
And a nightclub, you're there to,
And you're.
yeah,
if
just
you're, you know, and if you're going to the theater, you're usually there to watch.
answer the question that somebody poses, that why we got stuck on it was because it, you know, it's not listed, multi-unit was not listed as permissible in CHT. And we thought, well, maybe it got classified as an assisted living facility, which is okay for CHT. So we're just wondering, so figured this is an opportune time to say, okay.
Yeah, but I think right there,
The mixed use would
Would explain that,
fit
yeah.
it in, yeah.
but I mean, but think about that, right? Say somebody else wanted to come up and do something similar in, say another high-traffic area opened up. Do we want them to be able to do that, or do we want them to be, or do we want it to be something that is mixed use and kind of mimic what's at Cayuga View? And say, no, you can't do that here, but you can do mixed use here, and now you're required to have pros and cons to both. Yeah.
And then you have you have Trip Hammer Apartments across the street, right? Is that?
Right.
But that's that's not high traffic, that's high-density residential.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where it changes when you cross the street.
But I thought we've also talked about putting mixed use in every single district.
And you're going to be allowing residential in every single district. Huh?
Right. Which, do you want that or not?
I don't know,
Oh,
Because-
but that's a good topic for when we dive into things.
yes.
Yes, it is.
Does it matter?
I think that there are maybe some really good, maybe there is some really good rationale behind them. Or maybe not everywhere, but maybe more places.
Does it matter that the original intent for the Cuba View was 55 and up? Because they're renting to anybody now.
No, well, that was the intention, but I
was a
don't,
time-
it wasn't, I don't think it was written into
I don't
the,
think
Not condition.
it was not a condition compared to the PDA, which it is a condition.
Okay.
But it wasn't, and in fact, that was their intention, of course, but then they had trouble filling it.
Right.
Yeah, there was a lot of
Of course,
discussion
we
about
prefer
that,
people to
the
be
phase review.
successful to,
And what if my grandson comes to live with me and yeah, so there was a lot of discussion about that.
Without getting too deep, I mean, your definition of mixed use is a parcel developed for both residential and commercial uses, but it says, well, what if, let's say, similar to what Dee Miller was saying, what if you have commercial use that wouldn't normally be allowed in that
Right.
district?
But I have housing, so now it's allowed, because I have housing and commercial.
Residential,
permit.
residential might not be allowed someplace, but you have mixed use, so you can
Right.
combine it.
So I think what we have to do is we have to start really diving into what does mixed use
Yeah.
mean? Because if mixed use can be anything, well, then it kind of can be
That's where
problematic.
that's almost where you want to say, yes, with additional conditions, maybe, or
We need to then
Or maybe we
careful
figure out
about.
those, you just need to be
Yeah, oh,
very
yeah.
specific with
You have to be
the
really
special
specific.
permit.
think about which uses are part of the mixed use,
mixed use in this case.
Commercial and residential.
Period, that's it.
period. That's the thing, it's a really
Okay,
super broad definition to the point where it could be really problematic.
yeah,
Might be able to say parcel developed for both residential and commercial uses that are allowed within that underlying district. Might be able to say that.
because otherwise you would have a gas station next to a house. Or you have gas station with an apartment above it.
Oh, God.
No, of course not, but I mean, that would be allowed, though, is the point. You have to,
The other question we have.
I don't know if the state would allow that, because you can't have underground tanks and residential, but, but yeah, there would be a lot of things that would be allowed that would not be desirable.
So maybe this leads into that next question. One of the questions that Lorraine and I had talked about, and I'll use adult entertainment as the example. That was the example. Do we even want to allow that anywhere? Do we have the ability to not do that, right? So what if
we could do,
went and said, I'm gonna do mixed use in a, commercial high-traffic area with adult entertainment.
with apartments
downstairs and
upstairs.
some apartments up, so I think there's two issues here, but I think, Natalie, you did say that, we could exclude very specific things in the code, right, if we wanted to, if we say, hey, this isn't something that is permitted anywhere in the village, maybe not that.
Why are you trying to yuck everyone's yums?
What did she say? Why are you trying to yuck?
If we're using the underlying definitions,
Yeah, there's a lot of limitations.
So my point is, right, though, it's allowed in commercial high traffic. What if the desire of the village was for it to not be allowed in commercial high traffic, it to be an excluded use?
Never be allowed in the village?
Anywhere?
Yeah.
That was kind of the question.
And yeah, we
I thought that you
even
said there
have
was
to
some-
allow it in CHT.
I'll use that one because it's just an easy thing.
We just like,
Yeah, why is it just if one place? Make it simple, get rid of it.
I'll look into it. I mean, it's
Adult
restrictive.
entertainment.
But that's my point. What if there was something else too? I mean, what if
So it's,
we don't like,
make it to the definition.
What section are we in?
we don't allow undertaking here because for whatever reason.
Oh, this is the special, this is the special permit condition.
shows. What's the matter with the,
Keep reading.
Adult arcade?
Yes.
what's?
I don't know what one is there.
You've got it, yeah.
I don't know what some of these things are.
This is the
I
longest.
mean, we don't even,
we have.
This one actually is defined really well. Yeah.
It's fun.
Not saying that it's.
I mean, there isn't any. I mean, other than, remember we talked about this? What was the place up on 79? I can't remember what it was called now.
The lap dance,
What's,
Kumar's Farmers, yeah.
yes.
so that's not there anymore. But then I said to Mike, but, the building, but it's been for, I think it's a house now, but anyway, but then we talked about this, remember, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, what about down on the corner, by the Commons there on State Street, the adult bookstore?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right, that's the only place in town, though, that's like that.
But it's allowed.
Just a question.
There's also a store on Meadow Street, right across from, right next to the Remax place.
Near Purity?
Yeah, it's, there's an adult toy store.
There is?
I had no idea.
No, wait, where?
It's on Meadow Street.
Is it next to Ithaca Bakery, on the other?
It's across the street from the bakery, like, I think it's a block or two down from there.
If you go check it out.
All right, I'll go. I didn't know.
I said.
No,
I think
she
we-
said,
I think
it's
we
get
should
me
go-
to check it out. I said, all right, I'll go.
I said, I think we should go check it out.
We'll report back, yeah.
We'll go see whether it's an appropriate use in our village.
What if somebody comes across something that they don't think is appropriate in the village at all? Is there,
There's going to always be someone who doesn't think something is, isn't, or something
Wouldn't
is.
that be, for example, like small scale sales?
it could,
Right, yeah.
it could very well be, my point is there a way
No,
in
but I'm
general
saying-
to?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I think
That's
there will
all.
always be a way to categorize certain things.
Yeah.
Now, why does, undertaking keeps coming up, and that's in my thing, and,
Undertaking?
yeah, and
You mean like a
having
funeral
had a
home?
relative who was an undertaker,
How come
it's
there's no,
like,
yeah, there's no funeral homes up here? How come?
partly it's,
Small scale scales.
I don't know, these days I think it's big sales, big sales.
partly it's a traffic thing, I think. Usually it's traffic and parking that gets in the way.
Well, the mall's got plenty of room.
I know, exactly. I'm not sure it should be excluded, by the way, is what I'm saying.
It could be under religious, I mean, depending on, yeah, I mean.
And I was gonna say, I don't know, I mean, certainly, people are dying every day, so it needs to be
Oh, I'm not
handled.
encouraging a funeral home to open up, but I'm just
But
thought
I'm
about
not
it.
sure it should
Yeah,
be,
you're right, there's no.
I don't think that it should be blocked
Yeah.
necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, there's one, if heading to Lansing, there's one right up the road, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So far, the demand has not been,
Yeah.
nobody's come and wanted to do one, but,
And then the last thing was, we had brought this up last time, I don't know if Mike looked into it or not, but, so there was bank administrative option.
Oh, it's my fault, I forgot to.
Yeah, no, I
Gotcha.
missed it too, bank administrative operations versus an actual bank. So at CFCU, bank administrative operations, they have a drive-through, you're not supposed to have a drive-through, or an ATM, sorry, an ATM in there, but, again, could be
well,
looking at going and, changing things for, existing people, it's grandfathered, but just out of curiosity was it a variance, was it a?
well,
Yeah, sorry, Mike, I forgot to mark that one.
Yeah, I did.
We kind of talked about this at the last meeting, and I was trying to remember, did Mike already answer that question?
well, one of the questions I had too was medical laboratories. I'd come and asked you that once in the past couple of months, was how did Craft Road get their medical lab there? We go there all the time, so all of a sudden, one day it occurred to me, wait a minute, that's not allowed
Well, it's no
here.
different than we were talking, when we.
How
found
did
some
that-
Definitions, I was like, oh, bank
Did they
administrative
even ask?
operations and banks, they're different, they're not supposed to have ATMs, I was like, they have an
Remember
ATM.
that was being done, and it was in the process of being done when I first came here, because I remember having to go over there, some of my first inspections. So it was in the process of being done.
Turn to a medical lab then? I thought it was within,
They had done a bunch of renovations.
it used to be a print
It
shop,
used to be a bookbinder.
or a bookbinder.
Yeah, it's Arnold's
Book
Printing,
binder, the other was a sheet metal shop.
Yes, and then it was sheet metal.
Do they
So
define it as a clinic?
Huh?
Do they define it as a clinic?
I don't know.
Mike would have to look at the, yeah.
But that was one of the things that occurred to me. And maybe it's how they handle whatever's at the lab, more than, this is just a collection site, they don't actually process it there. So maybe it's not considered,
Oh, I don't know, do they process it there? But you
No,
get your
they
results
don't.
pretty quick.
I know, but I don't think so.
I think they sent.
And there's certain ones that I know they don't, because you have to go to the hospital, because it's got to go on ice or something
I
right
mean, because
away.
usually when I go have blood work done, I have my results, like, if I go there at 7:30, I have my results by 11, so
Yeah, sometimes, yep.
is that why the Cuba Medical
I
Van
guess
is
it's-
speeding through Janivar to get from point
I
A to
don't know,
point
but
B?
I don't know whether they do
Gotta
or,
get the samples.
They're allowed one ATM.
what?
Sorry, I'm just looking at definitions.
No, Mike looked it up, oh,
Bank admin,
Huh?
bank admin operations?
I swear I
Yeah.
looked it up and.
They're allowed one teller and one ATM.
no, wait,
Let's go take a look. There was something.
No, wait a minute.
It wasn't allowed there, because we even read over it a few times. At any rate, just something to look into.
CLT, I had written with no tellers or ATM. CMT with tellers and ATM.
CMT did.
CLT with no
No
tellers
tellers.
or ATM.
And then CMT is with tellers, are they, and those CLT?
And so the Craft Road is in the CLT district.
Yeah, it is.
And that might be what that is.
Teller and one automatic teller.
Yeah, but there's the additional, that might be.
Well, actually.
We could be wrong, that'd be great too, just curious.
They're in CMT.
Again, not changing anything.
They're in CMT.
Your beginnings name.
The Craft Road one is?
Yeah. The Craft Road is in CMT.
Maybe this was wrong.
Okay, you know what, hold on. A testing lab is allowed in office studio service.
What is?
A testing lab.
Testing lab.
So I wonder if, like, when you get your blood drawn up there, that's considered a testing lab, not laboratory services.
I have no idea.
Interesting.
And that's really interesting. So office, we hadn't gotten to office studio service yet, but office studio service also includes, so testing lab, adult education and training.
I wonder if that would be more along the lines of a medical school.
School, right.
It's not like a primary, or secondary, or it's not like a primary school that you would think of, it's like a adult education type thing.
And
Right, because last time we were grappling with like the, you know, is it an education facility, a school? Does it mean like nursery school? Does it mean like adults, you know, getting training for something? So apparently it's listed under office studio service.
oh, so then we don't need to put a school in those other districts if we don't.
Right, either that or we should actually really define school to be like, you know, for children.
Yeah.
As opposed to,
Elementary.
yeah.
Because the current, what is the current one?
So
145.3.
is Craft Road commercial low traffic?
Yes.
So here's the additional condition. Bank administrative operations permitted in commercial low-traffic district, subject to the following additional conditions: no tellers and no ATM shall be permitted.
You just said they're in medium traffic.
Is it medium or is it?
Craft is in the purple.
In low traffic.
Okay, so low traffic,
No, which one?
Craft Road.
It depends on where in Craft Road, but I'm showing that all the way up to Leaf Way is the pink, so that it's,
That's commercial low traffic.
yeah, commercial.
so commercial
Oh,
low traffic.
low, sorry, I
Yeah,
was
there's
thinking
an
it was,
additional condition in
I was
there
thinking
under-
it was, I'm sorry.
It's on 145,091, that's where it says, yes, you can have a no traffic, additional condition, no teller, no ATM. Now, it could be grandfathered, and again, that's fine, it's just something that came up, which this is good exercise.
Grandfathered, though.
How long has that building been there?
But the Craft Road one?
Long time.
Yeah?
Oh, I don't know, that one, no, that, it's the medical lab that hasn't been there for, I have no idea how
I don't know,
long.
both of them have been there.
And how new is commercial low traffic? 1990-ish?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's old.
Yeah, so that's when this was amended. This was in 1990, so it might have been before.
But you're going to have to do something with that, because let's say, if someone comes in, they want to put the bank administration in there, they come for a special permit, you can't have an ATM. So it gets put in with no ATM. Later on down the line, because they're classified as bank administration, which by definition in here is allowed an ATM.
With additional
Unless they're
conditions.
in low traffic.
Unless they're in commercial low traffic, then there's
Bank
additional
administration.
conditions.
But then you have to go and see
Yeah.
Office studio service.
145.
So here's the other thing about this, I'm not concerned, like, I have no problem with you having this is just my opinion, a bank administrative operation, like CFCU on Craft Road, where you have an ATM. Right, I don't think we want to turn it into like the CFCU there on like Cinema Drive, even that doesn't bother me that much, but I think these are, I mean, what's the
It's as long as there's not a traffic issue.
So there's not, that's a walk-up ATM, it's not a drive-through ATM, so maybe.
And there,
And we didn't even know there was one.
no,
No, there's not, I said,
I even did a drive-by because I thought, I've been there many times, or not many times, but I've never noticed it.
Yep.
But it is handy, I
It's
suppose, if
inside.
you're gonna go there.
if you're gonna go there, right, you're not, like, I used to walk past that place to take my kids to school, I lived there for a number of years, I never went there once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never used
But,
it.
I mean, sure, if you went there to do some sort of business, you're opening up a loan, you need to do something else, and you need to make a withdrawal, it's convenient to have it there to do that.
It was-
So then, okay, hold on, but that begs the question that we were talking about before, is the thing that you're doing a public-facing commercial entity, or is it not?
It's a member, that's a member.
Right, and I think, right, when you go there, right, really anyone can go to the CFCU down there on Cinema Drive, whether you're a member or not, take out money with your ATM card to get a surcharge or whatever. That's, I mean, that really does function as a bank. This functions.
Most ATMs you can use.
Oh, yeah, you can use your, yeah,
can?
I could go to, pick an ATM in Ithaca, I could I get an extra charge.
Yeah,
I can use my
okay.
ATM card.
Okay.
That really is meant for people who are existing members of
It's
CFCU
inside.
or new members of CFCU, but it's also like loan operations, you don't go there to open up like a savings account.
No.
I don't know if they even.
Safe deposit
if you go
boxes are
to,
there.
like, a mortgage or something, you go up.
Right, or a car loan or something like that, or, yeah.
But there's also a difference between an inside ATM and a drive-through.
And this one is inside, this, you have to, I think you actually have to go in through a set of doors to get to it.
It's all separate entry and everything, but you're gonna have to take something out of this, you're gonna have to take that automatic teller out of this bank administration operations definition, because if I'm somebody that has one, I'm gonna come in and say, well, the definition says I have one. And
Unless you're in
But there's a
CLT.
special condition for CLT.
In CLT,
That
there's,
says you can't,
Yeah.
yeah,
In
well,
CLT.
if you're only in CLT?
only in CLT,
Only
this
in
is specific
Only
to,
in CLT.
yep, this is specific to bank
So
administrative
CMT
operations.
can have one.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, either way, it should be cleaned up.
I got it.
It should, yeah, like,
Oh, yeah, CLT was gonna have the plus, so that was gonna be.
yeah, so this should just be cleaned up, whatever direction we go, it should be consistent, it shouldn't be confusing, and that's true for everything.
Yeah,
Okay, so at the next meeting then, I would like people to, and Lorraine, is it okay if I volunteer us to go first?
Oh, yeah.
Just to go over, here are the changes that we recommend being made to the chart of uses.
okay.
And we'll go through each one, right? And
Each one line by line,
the real changes.
and
With definitions,
so at the next meeting, we'll,
With definition?
with definitions?
Yes.
Okay, well,
Oh, so is Mike gonna print?
It's a big.
That is
big
a-
list.
well, at the next meeting, let's just focus on Lorraine and ours.
Okay.
well,
Just do one, we're not, we won't,
even if we get,
I don't even know if we'll get all the way through ours, but we'll focus on just ours at the next meeting.
All right. So I guess we should print out the definitions, so we all have them in front of us.
I will get, if you guys are going.
Yeah, just print off the definitions.
What I'll do, I'll print out the definitions and I'll print you off a set of this too, because if you say we want to add it here, everybody has their own little checklist
Yes.
to say, okay, we want to add it here.
Yep. Yeah, and so don't worry about, you can have your next meeting to finish your stuff. You and I, Lisa, will meet to
Yeah.
finish up the rest of that stuff. And at the next meeting in a couple weeks, Lorraine and I will just go through, here are suggested changes, and we'll have a discussion. And we'll see how far we get.
so I came across some old stuff. This must have been the first time I went to, well, maybe the second time I went to the Planning Federation, because it's dated 2015. And it's the New York State Division of Local Government Services revising zoning.
Hey, look at that.
And one of the things is, there's just a couple of slides that are pertinent, but when to amend. Definitions are reminiscent of the 1950s. Yep. Most people can't figure out what zoning does and does not allow on their land. That's not quite, but the other thing is amend definitions because they're too vague and all of that kind of stuff. There are some good things here, so I don't know, you might want to just go online and look at that, but, and then whether, we're not going to be changing our districts in any way.
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
I don't think we've come across anything,
I think, no, now that we had the CMT, I think was,
yeah.
that took some doing, but it still seems appropriate.
I think the focus should be on getting that consistently throughout the.
I have a question for you, Nan.
Code.
We talked about if you were move around the uses or whatnot, if that use is already in a district, your grandfather didn't talk about that. What happens, would they then, yes, your grandfather, then, would they then be a non-conforming use? Which would put them restricted as far as expanding or anything like that, because you can't expand a non-conforming use. So we'll have to think about that at some point.
Or, we talked about this too, what if, because we've talked about this with a few different things now, what if we, and it might fall under the same bucket, what if we change, so say this building is zoned for
Let's see.
undertaking, and then we change the definition of undertaking, and somebody wants to come in here and start doing undertaking. Well, it was previously undertaking, but so the zone hasn't changed, the district hasn't changed, but our definition,
A new owner and a new use?
new, that's
new-
definitely new owner, well, I don't know about new owner. Say this building's vacant, say we use the pump house up there. Zone for undertaking, we haven't been doing anything in there. The previous, years ago, before we opened this building, was undertaking. We've now changed the definition of undertaking, but now somebody wants to go in there and do undertaking again. Do they follow the current definition, because that's what it is, or do they follow the definition of undertaking at that point?
I would say they follow the definition of undertaking at the
At the
time they
current,
want to
okay,
start their
okay.
own.
Because, yeah, the other one went away.
I can right, I can understand if it had been like continually operated as an undertaking,
that's
and I want to
different.
sell it to my son now, and he wants to take over the
Well, then
family
there's no
business.
question. And that
Right,
one
but
came-
if it's
That would be
been
grandfather.
out
Yeah.
of business,
Yeah,
and,
no.
okay.
Well, one of the things is, yeah, you have to worry about non-conformance
Right.
provisions, as it said, legal expansion, abandonment, and damage, and development of non-conforming vacant lots.
Okay.
Do we have any non-conforming vacant lots? What do they
Don't
mean?
know until,
A
well,
non-conforming vacant lot would be something that is either not the right size.
Yeah, size reasons.
or-
An amortization of non-conforming uses. What is that?
Amortization of non-conforming uses.
Should have taken better notes on the sign on that one, because I don't know what that means.
Let me see how long you think until they're all gone? I don't know.
I don't know.
that could, yeah. Well, okay, well, so that's the plan for the next time. If you need to meet more, meet more. If you need to get ready to present, Lorraine and I, at the next meeting, we'll do that. Go ahead.
Prevent hasty decisions.
The next meeting is Yamila's last meeting.
It is, you know,
Do
it's
you
last
want them
meeting.
to go first?
I was wondering about that.
Well, we could probably finish up. We did about a third and a third, so we can do a third one at a time.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know, it's up to
Yeah,
you.
no, that's fine, yeah, no.
It's her last meeting.
Yeah.
because I was thinking that earlier when he was
Yeah.
volunteering Lorraine, thinking, well, this is your last meeting, and
Yeah, if you want to go first, I'm
notes and everything.
okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's plan on that then, between this meeting and the next meeting, get information to Mike, but yeah, so Mike, Lorraine and Jim, or Yamil and Jim, see, I did the Jim. I got Jim. Yeah, break
They'll
down.
teach you to put me on this side of the table.
Yeah, we're not doing this again. Okay.
Well, they want to sit together next time, so we got to do it one more time.
Oh, man.
And then he won't be able to go back.
I know.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the interview of a potential board member. So we have Jacob here. Jacob, if you'd like to stand up just at that podium there, just because it'll pick your voice up better. But thanks for coming in. And if you just want to introduce yourself a little bit, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you live in the village, your background, why you're interested in being on the planning board. And, this is really informal. We'll give folks on the board an opportunity to ask you questions, and yeah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jacob Von Mecca. I live at 1611 East Shore Drive, which is in that farm and craft market combining. So I probably first started digging into the village code when I was trying to figure out, what does that mean?
Well, I'm still with you on that one.
I work at Whittam Planning and Design, downtown in Ithaca. I've been there since about 2018. We bought our place here in the village in 2020, in the midst of COVID. So we didn't jump into community activities as fast as we might have if things had been a little different at that time. But I professionally bring projects in front of planning boards on a regular basis as a landscape architect, a registered landscape architect in the state of New York. We do mostly projects in the Tompkins County area, and so I've been in front of many of the local boards, although I have not been in front of the village board for any projects to date. Yamila was my former colleague a few years back. She actually mentioned that you folks were looking for potential new members and suggested that I throw my hat in the ring. So I find the minutia of this actually pretty fascinating, as I'm sure you all do, which is why you're here. You know, I deal with it professionally, but I also just find it really engaging and interesting, the mechanisms that make our whole society work. So we just welcomed our first child. She's now 4 months old.
Congratulations.
We are enrolling her just up the hill at the Montessori school.
That's where my kids went.
Yeah. And it seemed like a good time to get more engaged in the community and the community government and all that. So happy to answer any questions. And I do have a couple, asterisks next to this, interest that I'm having. I obviously, as a professional landscape architect who does bring things in front of boards, I would probably have some potential conflicts at some point. Actually, there is notably a very real current conflict with the schedule of your meetings, which happen to be at the exact same time as the city of Ithaca's and the town of Ithaca's BZA meetings, which I also occasionally, some more often than others, am required to attend for my job.
What is the, when does the city meet?
The city meets on the third Tuesday every month.
Third Tuesday.
Oh, so
Well, we're this
No, sorry, fourth Tuesday.
fourth Tuesday, which is the last Tuesday. Well, sometimes it's.
It's not the last.
Sometimes it's not, yeah.
Okay, so
we meet on the second Monday.
Second Monday and third Tuesday. Or
last Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Last Tuesday, yeah.
Our meetings are much shorter than the city.
Well, it depends.
What questions do folks have? Lorraine?
So Jacob, where were you before you came to Ithaca?
I was in Binghamton area.
Oh, so are you from the upstate area then?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Born and raised in Shenango County.
Oh, okay.
Sherburne, Earlville, if you're familiar with that.
I grew up in Ithaca, so.
I grew up in Posits, so I'm in,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Ithaca, for me, and the whole region and the village of Lansing, all feels very urban from where I'm coming from, my upbringing, but it's much more lively and engaging, so happy to be here.
Lisa?
Do you have, do you have colleagues who basically do the same job as you, who could, say, for example, if one of your company's clients needed to present here or in a conflict, that they could do the presentation instead of you?
Yes, in some cases. I think if it was just a scheduling conflict here, then it might not be an issue, but if it was a
Decision.
if it was a decision maker, I would have to recuse myself.
Yes,
from
exactly.
anyone on my committee.
Yeah, I would agree.
Well, right.
But in some cases, in some others, I'm just too indispensable.
Well, there's some,
Good and bad parts of being indispensable.
Yeah,
Yes.
Anything, Lisa?
I can't think of anything tonight, actually. You've already answered why you thought it was time to get involved, and I don't know if you've watched any of our meetings, but yeah, we're going through the code right now, so it is an opportunity to make some changes. Hopefully, as you're our future, with young families are our future, so I'm sure you have many ideas about some of the things. Are there any things that specifically come to mind that you've noticed that you would think you would like to explore for making changes?
Besides cleaning up the final
Code, yes,
definitions.
yes, yeah.
I mean, I think there are some, yeah, I think the way that the zoning results in certain physical realities, it's more than just kind of putting the right language to the right definition. It's more than just having a picture in your mind of what you would like to see and saying you can only build that, right? There's a fine line between wanting to encourage people to come here and to invest money in the community and making things too difficult. And I think at the moment, the clarity that you're trying to find through this process of revising the definitions is a helpful first step to that.
Okay.
I know a lot of the language in this is open to interpretation, and some of it isn't as specific as it could be, to make sure that certain things that might not be part of that vision kind of can find their way through because of an interpretation. And there are ways to tighten up language to increase the specificity with which it's applicable to projects, and to make it easier for your code folks to know which category it falls into. I don't know if that answers your question.
Well, I guess I was thinking more of as a landscape person, if there are things that you see about the village. For example, we recently finally passed a tree code or some of that kind of stuff. Whether there are any things that you feel strongly about, or?
Yeah, as a rule, I think I ascribe to the school of thought that higher density in focused locations allows for more environmentally open space to exist without preventing people from being in a place and living.
Right.
And the closer things are together, the more walkable they are, the less infrastructure you need, the less investment you need in a community with a higher level of density. And it's important that you balance that with aesthetics and making sure people feel like they have breathing room. And again, that's a fine line to walk, but as a rule, I think the village would probably benefit from encouraging higher density development, more walkability, less expansive infrastructure, and better infrastructure where people are living in concentration.
Okay, thank you.
No, I kind of know quite a bit about your approach, because I've been in the same room with you for many, many years. But I think the kinds of sensibilities you bring to some of the projects that you've done, I think would apply really well to how we're thinking about some of our future land use. So no, I don't have any additional questions. I think you probably answered lots of the things here that people had in mind. Yeah, so.
And I think it's an interesting time too with, we've passed a new solar law, we've passed a tree law recently, we're going through and just looking at the code now. The new comprehensive plan, last week, was it a week ago? A week ago yesterday, we had our joint trustee planning board meeting to look at that, and I thought that was a great discussion, by the way. But so there really is a lot happening, climate smart community, there's a lot happening in the village right now that I don't think a lot of people see. Even if you send them an email, you send them a letter, I just don't think they see all the hard work that's really being put in the positive outcomes that hopefully, all that work is gearing towards. So, all right.
So I have a question, and this isn't a test, Jacob. I'm asking you this question as a village resident and also someone who is working with these large developers for these big city projects. Why do you think that these large developers aren't interested in coming up here? I mean, as you know, a lot of businesses have cleared out of the village. It's sort of, to me, it's like almost turning into a ghost town up here. I mean, it's not that bad, but it is, I mean, the mall obviously emptied out and went down to all of Benderson's buildings, and I'm always curious, why don't people want to come up here to develop? Why don't people want to come up here? And I'm wondering about these large developers. Why don't they want to come up here and build?
So I think a lot of, and I'm interpreting from what I see, I do not know the depth of the history of the community in the way that some of you might, but my interpretation is that the general economic trend has been away from car-centric, single-use commercial, just regionally, and more towards residential, because that's where the demand is at the moment. Particularly in this community, there's huge demand for residential, and the costs of building, even just fitting out an existing building, have gotten extremely high. And so investors are only interested in those uses, those types of investments that are going to have a really dependable return on their investment. Commercial isn't as low risk as it used to be. People's interest in things tends to change very quickly. There's a lot of mass shipping that happens, people just ordering things offline, they're not going to the mall, right? Why go to the mall when you can just go on the internet and pay a little extra maybe, but you get it just the same. I think residential is really what the developers are interested in doing right now. Quite often, in order to meet the mixed use definition, that might not be a code requirement, but might be something that a municipality has put forth as a goal, for example. They will include commercial reluctantly in residential developments, because that's where the money is. Large, multi-unit residential developments are what people want to invest in. That's not to say that the village is entirely like not welcoming to that from what I've seen, but there's a lot of upfront design costs that developers have when they want to approach something like that, and there's a lot of unknowns.
Yeah.
One of those unknowns is just the language is a little hard to immediately understand, particularly for the mixed use residential or the multi-unit residential, where you have, as you were talking about, several different definitions that could apply to a lot of these multi-unit developments. And that makes them a little nervous. They don't want to put the money up front unless it's a sure thing. They want as-of-right projects that they're confident can sail through planning review, won't get caught up in zoning, won't get caught up in environmental reviews. I know the new wetland regulations are scaring a lot of developers at the moment, just because they don't know what they can do or can't do because it hasn't really been tried yet. Which, who knows, maybe that'll incentivize them to look at existing buildings that are grandfathered in and put their money there, because if they tried to build something new, it would be much more expensive. This is all completely just me speaking.
Oh, yeah, no, this wasn't.
Not representing anyone or as a professional.
No, but thank you. I mean,
It's funny, what you said is something that I've been kind of grappling with, because almost everything here is a special permit.
Yeah.
Except for one-unit residential buildings, natural parks, two-unit residential buildings, employee cafeteria, which is an odd one to have as of right use, and alteration to a building. So those are the only as of right uses. Everything else is a special permit. And I know, like, for a lot of developers, that makes it a big question mark, a big unknown. Like, is it worth it going into this community? Because I don't know if that's going to be okay. It's going to be under this other review. Design review is a different story. Everyone knows that they do design review for some of the bigger projects, but special permits make things a little bit less clear as to what the path will be and how likely it'll be accepted.
Mike and Natalie? Yeah. Okay. Well, Jacob, thanks for, any final parting questions? Any final comments or questions?
Any questions for us that you want to ask?
Well,
know you shared one thing.
I would like to have you spell your last name, because
Oh,
I
yeah.
know you can tell me, but
VonMechow.
And pronounce it for everybody.
Von Mechow.
is it all just initial cap? There's not another cap in
Is it
there?
a capital M?
So technically.
Is there after the Von, is there,
There's a space between Von and Mechow, and the M is capitalized.
Can you spell it again? M-E?
MECHOW.
so the M is not capped?
The M is.
M is.
M is
Well, that's what I was
Okay,
expecting.
The V is.
I understand, I'm German, you know.
Is that right?
That's why I was asking.
This
because
was
it's
our
like,
test.
This didn't work for me if
Spell
it
your
was all
last name.
lowercase. I'm thinking, well, this can't be right.
Any-
I would say
any
the
final
Netchoff
questions?
is how I would say it.
I guess to my comment about there being a sort of a conflict between my professional responsibilities to be able to attend City of Ithaca Planning Board meetings specifically. How flexible is the board? And I'm a potential new member, so that's a huge ask for you all to change your schedule potentially.
So, yeah, so we definitely won't change our schedule, but I think so it depends, there's some flexibility, it depends on potentially the appointment that you're in, we have regular board members, we have an alternate position, it depends on timing of meetings and things like that, so.
And for instance, like, I served as an alternate for a long time, and if there was a case where somebody had to recuse themselves or had to, was out of town and couldn't attend, I would step up from the alternate to being a voting member for that meeting. So there's a mechanism in place, as long as there are enough bodies, so that if someone needs to step away for a moment, they can.
I see, okay. No, I have no other questions.
Okay. So I guess I will put on the record, at the end of this meeting, after other business, we will go into executive session to discuss planning board appointments. There's a couple things to talk about anyway, and then I'll send you an email, Jacob. There's a series of steps. The planning board doesn't appoint people, the trustees do, so the planning board interviews multiple people. We've interviewed a couple people over the past 2 months. There's at least one other person that we're going to interview, and then we make a recommendation to the trustees. Those people that we recommend generally go in front of the trustees, and then the trustees make the appointment. But I'll follow up with you, let you know what next steps are and where we are. Right now, we're, like I said, we're kind of waiting to interview at least one other person, and then I'll follow up with you from there.
Sounds good.
Great, thanks for coming in. We appreciate you coming in person too, and not trying to join over Zoom. It's always nice to meet people face to face.
It's the fourth Tuesday.
Fourth Tuesday.
Okay. So sometimes.
So sometimes it's the last.
I'm not, yeah. We can talk about it. Okay, next item on the agenda. So I did have Mike switch the next two items moving forward. I like to do the trustee report before the other business, because it just.
Do I need to do a trustee report? We were all there.
I don't think does anybody want Lisa to do a trustee report, considering we were all there?
No.
Oh, thank heavens,
Okay.
because I wasn't going to do a trustee.
Yeah. Oh, Mike, no, I'm sorry. Mike,
Oh.
Mike was there too. He
Yes,
was,
he was there. I couldn't hear him half the time.
He was sitting right over there.
He had his back to me the whole time.
that guy.
He was
Saw the top
pretending
of
he
his
wasn't
head.
really here.
That was it.
Okay, next item on the agenda is other business. All right.
Their business.
Or I'll give everybody a second chance like I usually do.
I don't have anything.
Oh, my God, that can't be.
Lisa?
I
Wait
have
for
a,
Lisa to be like, I don't have any either. Be like, wait.
no, because I was out of town, I always come in on 13 and get off, and I realized all of the signage on Route 13, the little blue signs, the wayfit, finding signs, and have Applebee's and all these things, who's responsible for changing stuff like that out? That's if it's on Route 13, right? Because it does misrepresent things.
But who contacts them? Does somebody have to contact
Yeah,
them
do we
to
have
change the
well,
signage?
Applebee's probably should have, but,
Applebee's doesn't gather, like, we're not here.
You're looking for a big number with the state?
Huh?
You
Who's
said,
responsible for telling them Applebee's is no longer here?
Yeah, who's responsible for letting them know that
Is
those
that-
signs need to be
are
updated?
those signs something people pay for? Because I know that when Taco Bell wanted one, we said, sorry, they're full. but
Maybe now's their chance.
One of the signs is removed. Was it Applebee's that they took off
These
on
was
one
a-
of them?
no, there wasn't.
Coming
one that came
down-
last week, I mean.
Coming down, going 13 south on the right before you get to the exit, to the Trip
Yes,
Hammer
that-
exit.
it was still
So
there.
There's one, but there's another one that was removed. Maybe it was Joanne's. I don't know.
I think it must be Joanne's.
I'll see if it needs-
I was just wondering, and I don't know in general, but if they're, I guess if they're on the pylon or something, it's also then the planned sign area is responsible for removing.
Yeah,
I find it kind of misleading.
They need to be
people.
cleaned up.
Yeah.
They need to
but-
be cleaned up, yeah.
But I was just wondering, okay, I assumed that Route 13 is a state road, so
I'll do what I can. I'll talk to John, maybe he knows.
I was just wondering who is responsible.
Well, maybe Jody knows. You could,
not on the state roads, but at least like a provision when you move out of here,
Get rid of your sign.
get rid of your sign, or,
Well,
I don't know, whatever,
the-
like Joanne's, for example.
Hugo Blue is on one of those signs, so he must have contacted somebody, right? I'm
I
pretty
also
sure.
have to imagine I can't imagine the state's just.
I wonder
like,
how you, I don't know.
Oh, I know, yeah.
I don't know who is, like,
Oh, they
is the
do?
mystery
They'll just put one up if you ask.
You have to pay for it.
Oh,
I'm
oh, okay.
assuming you do, somebody pays. for
Because
it.
you know what, Ross is probably gonna wanna be on there. I'm surprised Taco Bell, they probably wanna be on there.
There isn't space.
But they can, there's only a limit.
But that wasn't on 13, that was on, but now, yeah, I mean, maybe.
No, I think they wanted the 13.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they did want 13, and they,
Well, let's see if Mike,
I was just wondering,
ask John or
Well, you know what we can do? Tell Taco Bell to call up the state, tell them to get rid of Applebee's. Yeah.
just to find out.
I mean, do you really think Econo Lodge is paying for that sign they've got on there?
I mean, I think they probably paid
they
once.
probably pay all the time, yeah.
I just don't know how, I
I
just
think
don't
there'd be
know
a
the
monthly
mechanism.
rent.
Think, but no, I think
It's
there's,
just, I don't know, I don't really feel that much.
I
How does-
know there's a fee involved. I don't know if it's a one-time or if it's a yearly renewal.
That's the thing, is I was
See what
just
you can
starting to
find out,
get,
Mike. We'll wait for you to report back.
John might know.
no rush,
The list.
no rush. But it just made me curious, all of a sudden, I thought, wait a minute, who's responsible for this? How does this work? Who tells who what, just one of those things.
Yeah.
That's all,
Yeah, we need to know.
we don't need.
Yes, I have a couple of things. I was looking at it, I didn't see it right away. Can someone remind me, for the signs for the Ross Dress for Less, did we approve a sign on the building
The front of the building,
that faces Trip Hammer?
No,
No.
no.
So,
only on the front that faces
Well,
Route
they didn't
13.
actually come to us. They had to change their signage.
They changed it to make it smaller, otherwise they
And
were
then it
gonna have to
didn't
go.
come back, right?
No, they did not. They did not go for a variance.
okay, so,
No sign up there, right?
I didn't see a sign, but what I saw, is, interestingly enough, is the front corner that faces Trip Hammer, where they had originally wanted a sign, is suddenly painted a different color.
Oh, that's because they had to crack into the wall. Sorry, you can tell how many times a day I drive by. They had been working on the new HVAC system, even before they started with the new HVAC system. They had to crack into the wall. I don't know, Mike, you probably know. They had to crack into the wall, I think, to get to the pipes or whatever. Because I saw, there were guys there for weeks. In fact, I just saw them again, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago, after the HVAC system was installed on the roof, the company is still there, like, working on it. So I think that's what, and then they had to, like, repaint it when they put the bricks back in or whatever.
Okay,
But no, we did not approve a sign.
because I didn't notice bricks missing from that corner, and suddenly that corner where that sign was supposed to be is now painted a different color, so
And it could just very well be, if they want to paint the corner blue,
they can do it.
yeah, paint, well, I don't know if they, as long as it's in accordance with the developer, I mean, but yeah, us, we can't.
And
I just wanted to put it on everyone's radar, because it looks like someone's prepping to put a sign in.
Right.
Yeah, now, I've been
don't
watching,
worry.
trust me, I've been watching, and I keep waiting, like, when's the sign? Because I do see it on the big pylon
the
thing.
only,
It says Ross coming soon on there now.
I think the only thing we approved was that
On the
above the
Just
front
the
door
front.
kind of thing, and
Yeah.
really was quite okay with that, it was just that it was a corporate thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an assault on your vision, oh my God.
Yeah. And then I have another question that's a longer-term question, and it came out of what we were discussing today when we were looking at motels/hotels and so on. So I know there's different legislation from the state about short-term rentals, and I don't understand it at all. at all. So I'm looking at you, Natalie. I just, as we're looking at what motels and hotels are, it would sound like short-term rentals could be put into that category, but not really, but I don't know what the state laws are. And I looked into them and I'm like, that doesn't seem to apply. I don't know. It's really obtuse to me. So if you have any sort of insight, that'd be great. That's it.
Jim?
I don't have anything.
I don't really have much, I don't have anything on the horizon.
Really,
Yeah.
times are just different right now.
Yeah. Natalie, anything you wanted to bring up?
No.
Okay, with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn to executive session to discuss planning board appointments, and we will not be re-adjourning after that
Reconvening.
executive. We will not be reconvening, re-adjourning? Reconvening.
I
after
move that we go into executive session and do not reconvene after.
Motion by Lisa,
I second.
by Yamila, all in favor?
Did the motion include the reason for going into executive session?
Yes, to discuss planning board appointments at 8:36 PM.
Oh, thank you. 8:36.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Night, everyone.
See you, Pat.
Bye, Pat.